Now here's Dumbo. Released the same day Snow White was, in October 28th or October 29th, 1994. Now all the newer, and well, not the newer, the ones that would stay in print would have this on top of it. And Dumbo really wasn't changed that much from its original cover. You still see some instances of the Masterpiece Collection thing on there. April 9th, 1999, so this is one of the later ones. Yeah, oddly enough, I don't have a Masterpiece Collection tape with the original promo. All the Masterpiece Collection tapes I have are either from 1996 or forward, so they'll always have the different promos. But like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Dumbo is a great film. It's got great music, and it's such a simple story, and yet it's so effective. It's one of the Walt Disney's finest, and it is a sheer masterpiece. I don't think there is a film that could be this emotionally simplistic made nowadays. But yeah, Dumbo is a great film, and it's a fairly easy Masterpiece Collection tape to find. Like, most of the Masterpiece Collection tapes for you should be easy to find, except for the really rare ones. Like, let's say 101 Dalmatians, which was only out for a limited amount of time, and everybody had the classics tape, so. Alright, anyway, before I go and ramble, this is Dumbo, a great film. That's it. This is Three Caballeros. Again, released the same time that, Snow White and Dumbo and all the other ones were. I've seen the film. It's okay. It's one of the better, more ambitious package films. Yeah, 1998, but this has the 1996 trailers on it with the mini promo for the Masterpiece Collection, the Walt Disney Family Film Collection, and Aladdin and the King of Thieves on home video. But I've seen the film. It's okay. It's nothing to really brag about, but it is one of the better package films that you'll find out there. Yeah, I'm still looking for Melody Time. I'm still looking for a couple others, but I'll add those like I'm doing with the classics one. I'll upload more videos of those later. Okay, see you guys around. Alright, this is Alice in Wonderland. Released, again, the same time. And like Dumbo, it was originally a Walt Disney Classics tape. It wasn't a normal home video like Mary Poppins, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, films like that. Yeah, this one's not in the best condition. There's actually, I just went out and bought the box. I've had this particular tape since we were little kids. Yeah, September 21st, 1996. I've already talked about Alice in Wonderland, but I'll still talk about it again. It's a very, very good film. When compared to the Tim Burton one, it's amazing. It's one of the more loyal adaptations of Lewis Carroll's books. It's got funny characters. Alice, I feel, is a fairly engaging protagonist. The Queen of Hearts is hilarious as a villain. And, well, that's pretty much all I can say about Alice in Wonderland. It's a great film, and that's about it. Alright, here's The Sword and the Stone. Again, released around the same time that the others were. And like Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo, it was originally a Walt Disney Classics tape. But unlike those two films, don't want to get my wire in the shot, this one was not that highly regarded. It was mostly viewed as an okay film. And that's basically how everybody else views it. I think it's a fairly weak film. the same as the Dumbo tape, but close enough. Yeah, it has trailers for like Kiki's Delivery Service, Melody Time, more updated trailers. Yeah, The Sword in the Stone is a fairly good film. It tries to be a good film. It doesn't really succeed, but you can't really fault the film for that. Disney just wasn't that particularly strong at that point in storytelling, which is why everybody was so surprised with how good The Jungle Book was. But yeah, The Sword in the Stone, it's a good film. Not one of... Sorry. Sword in the Stone's a good film, but not one of the better ones. Here's Mary Poppins, the big musical. One of the most acclaimed films of all time, period. And I think the longest in circulation film that I have. When I mean in circulation, I mean the longest it's been around. I mean, Mary Poppins has been on home video so many times. I think its first was in 1980, and then it was released on video multiple times. Everybody knows Mary Poppins. They know at least one of the songs, be it Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious or something else. It's a great film. The songs are terrific. Julie Andrews is amazing as Mary Poppins. Even Dick Van Dyke as Bert is fairly entertaining. Even the dad, David Tomlinson, as Mr. Banks, he's a very good actor. He's actually conveying a lot of good things. But we all know what's great about Mary Poppins. It's a very good film. And again, like Dumbo and Snow White, one of Walt Disney's finest. I found this one yesterday at the thrift store. It's Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I had not seen this movie since I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. And seeing it again, it wasn't that interesting. There could have been a lot better scenes added into it. I think the only scene I found any real amusement from was the scene where they're on the island of the animals and they're all talking and stuff. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Again, another one of those Walt Disney Masterpiece mini logos, or Aladdin and the King of Thieves, things like that. But it's fairly entertaining. It's kind of like a rehash of Mary Poppins, only she's willing to admit she's a witch and not just magic. It's good. Could have been better. Alright, this is Robin Hood. All the films that I'm doing up until Robin Hood have all been released on October 28th, 1994. And Robin Hood has been in circulation on home video, DVD, Blu-ray, all the time since it was re-released on home video in 1991 as part of the Walt Disney Classics collection. I think this is the only tape I have that I haven't checked yet. Robin Hood's not one of those films I'm going to go out of my way to see, oh, is this different than the others? Because you can basically make assumptions. Robin Hood, it'll keep the kids entertained. I know for a fact that I loved this film as a kid. Not a particularly huge fan of it now. It's got funny moments, it's got some good characters, good songs, decent songs, don't want to overdo it. It's fairly good. Again, like Bedknobs and Broomsticks, a lot of films in the 70s were good but could have been better. On March 3rd, 1995, The Lion King became the first true addition to the Walt Disney Masterpiece collection after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Everybody knows The Lion King. In 1994, the film was a huge box office success and reigned as not only Disney's most successful animated film, but Disney's most successful film, period, until it was trumped by Finding Nemo in 2003. And it held the record as being Disney's most successful animated film, like without Pixar's help, until Frozen recently broke that record. January 6th, 1995. Yeah, this is one of the stranger copies of The Lion King that is out there. Almost lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Some of the logos and some of the trailers are different than some of the mainstream Lion King releases. The Cinderella, the flashbang things that keep coming up, the magic, the music, the masterpiece logos. It's not written in like stone. It's more like written in like cursive. Maybe I'll do an upload of this film, of this opening, at some point. Now I have two copies because this copy is a Canadian copy. I got this at my local library for about 10 cents, but I was so amped to get another copy of The Lion King on video when I first started recollecting these that I opened it, expecting to get a lot of ancillary stuff like I had with Snow White, but I didn't get any. Yeah, this is a Canadian copy. I don't know why it has the FBI warning, though. You can see it because of that. It doesn't have a print date, or if it does, it's in Canadian, and nobody knows about that. Everybody knows how I feel about The Lion King. I think it's Disney's greatest film. I think the movie is deep, epic, moving, powerful. Great characters, fantastic songs, a wonderful story, a great villain. Yeah, it's The Lion King. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest animated films ever made. And it's shown that because in box office receipts, it's still, adjusted for inflation, one of the top 20 most successful films ever. So, yeah, The Lion King. One of the best films ever made, period. After a 7-year moratorium, Cinderella came back on video in the fall of 1995 and this actually ended up being one of Disney's most successful videotape years. Lion King and Cinderella were both bestsellers. Let's get that tape out. Yeah, this isn't one of the special ones like the one that Super Fun for Everyone uploaded with the that has the Disney Interactive trailer on it. This is one of the basic ones, more common Cinderella tapes. Let's show the print date. June 12th, 1995. That's actually my dad's birthday, but he wasn't born in 1995, I can assure you that. But Cinderella, fantastic film. Again, one of Disney's finest. Just missed getting in my top 10. Maybe if I revitalized the list. I mean, the last time I wrote that list, it was because as I wrote in that one post I have, I was in that Frozen craze, and everything was frozen, frozen. So I might re-up the list, and Cinderella may just make it into the top 10. Maybe boot Frozen out, I don't know. I'll have to take a good long look at all these films again. But yeah, Cinderella's a great film, great songs, great characters. Again, a masterpiece. In 1996, Pocahontas came on home video. Followed a fairly successful run in theaters. And I'm kind of surprised at all the hate that this film gets. I mean, it's not one of the stronger Disney films. I mean, it's pretty good. It's got some pretty engaging characters. But it just kind of surprises me how much hate this film gets. Yeah, a couple of my films have really rare sticker labels. Now, before any of you say these are bootlegs, they've got print dates. February 6th, February 8th, 1996. I'm surprised the amount of hate that this film gets. I mean, unlike a film like Mulan, which was like mostly just a commercial tie-in, it was actually trying to be something good. You gotta give a film props for that. I mean, it's one of my guilty pleasures. Show the back. It's got good songs, great, beautiful animation. And overall, it's a fairly good film. It's got very weak moments, though. Particularly Pocahontas and John Smith are the weakest characters I think Disney's probably ever made, but come on, you gotta give a film some sort of credit. In March or April, I think March of 1996, sorry, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh appeared on home video. And this was the first time Winnie the Pooh was on home video on its own as the three main films since the mid-'80s, when it was taken off taken off store shelves, and it was replaced with videotape versions of just the shorts. It was, again, a very requested film of Disney's. And it was the first of these tapes that started with one of those making-ofs. And I think it was the last film since Little Mermaid to have the vertical label. It has a sticker label, as everyone knows. March 29th, 1996. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Again, a fantastic movie. And I'm really surprised not that many people have it in their top 20s or top 10s of the greatest animated films, of their best favorite Disney animated films, because I don't know a single person who doesn't like Winnie the Pooh. I mean, you can run around and understand why people don't like Mickey Mouse, or why some people don't like Bugs Bunny or Lion King, but I don't think I've met a single person who's not even like a Disney fan anymore that could say they hate Winnie the Pooh. Because look at all these characters. All these characters everybody knows, everybody's heard of, everybody loves. Maybe not Rabbit, he's a bit of a dick, but that's besides the point. Winnie the Pooh, great film. And like I said, it starts with the little the making of special. See if it says, there we go. It just gives you behind the scenes interviews about it, telling you about how great Winnie the Pooh was, things like that. Again, fantastic film, fantastic everything, really. On April 24th, 1996, the Aristocats finally made it to home video. The Aristocats was the last of the... Stinking wire. Okay, whatever, I give up. Was the last of the Untouchable films to appear on home video. The Untouchable films were the 15 main animated films that had stories from Snow White to Fox and the Hound. The package projects weren't included. Winnie the Pooh was not included. Alice in Wonderland was not included, and Dumbo was not included. But every other animated film was included, and the Aristocats was the last of them to appear on home video. March 26, 1996. The Aristocats is... the best way you can say it, it's better for young children. It's better for little kids. I think adults will find it memorable because they watched it as kids, not because it's a particularly special film. But nevertheless, decent film, decent songs, decent animation. What else could you ask for from Disney in the 70s? Here's another film that gets a lot of hate from people, and I don't really understand where it comes from. This is Oliver and Company. Based off of Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist. Takes place in New York City. Changed them to animals. I think this is a very unique film. I don't understand why so many people are don't really like this film. It's got good songs. It's got good characters. The plot may be fairly weak, but again, this was Disney. This was a pre-Little Mermaid film. It's got 2 print dates. It's got this one that says 4/11/96, and this one says July 4th, 1996, 4th of July, Independence Day. I think Oliver and Company is one of the better Disney films. I mean, it's better than The Black Cauldron. I think it's like the 4th best film Disney had in the 80s. That was in their animated candidates. Not as good as The Fox and the Hound, not as good as Little Mermaid, not as good as The Great Mouse Detective, but it's better than The Black Cauldron. It's got good songs, decent characters. Story, again, may be weak, but I still think it's a fairly good film. In spring of 1997, Bambi came out on home video. After an 8-year moratorium after the classics release, Bambi was back in a special commemorative edition and was the first film of the 1997, which was the year of like the making ofs, that had the making of special of Bambi at the end. I don't think it says it, that it has the making of special. I'm looking for it. It doesn't. But again, it's fully restored, limited edition. Let's show that tape. Oh, it's got the ancillary stuff. I completely forgot. Yeah, I have lots of tapes that have ancillary stuff from 1997. A couple, at least a couple. Look at the tape first. 12/15/1996. Let's get this ancillary stuff out of the way. Start with the business reply card. The oldest tape on there is Beauty and the Beast. Again, I don't think you can see it. But it's Aladdin, the Aristocats, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, James and the Giant Peach, Lion King, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Pocahontas, Snow White, and Toy Story on this business reply card. Came with what they did in 1997 was they had save this collector's stamp to earn free Disney videos. Again, too late for that. But again, it's really nice to find something like that. Here's the booklet that came with it. It's easy to earn free videos. You use this booklet and you try to fill up the booklet. And it's going to tell you the various films that would come out in 1997. I mean, I know you had Bambi, you had Hunchback and Notre Dame, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I think that'd be 101 Dalmatians. And you could keep going around. You could guess Sleeping Beauty, Fun and Fancy Free, The Jungle Book, George of the Jungle, Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. You think those would be on there? Tells you briefly about the contest. Comes with this commemorative booklet. It talks in detail about the making of Bambi. If only this tape had good quality video, I'd be able to show exactly what it says. But it talks in depth about the making of Bambi. Talks about the animators, about how they had the deer on set, how they wanted to make it more realistic, about how they look better than the deer than they looked on Snow White. This is for the people who just didn't feel like waiting till the end to see the making of special, I guess. You have Roy Disney right there. Rest in peace. And then you have this video shopping guide. Yeah, 1997 and 1998 were big years in Disney because they had so many videos coming out. I mean, this year alone had 3 big Walt Disney classics coming out. And it shows you that you have the video rewards program. I thought that said Cars for a second. I'm like, what? It's Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Bambi, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, there we go, Hunchback of Notre Dame again. Best Disney picture since Beauty and the Beast. Well, that's up next. Your last chance to collect these 4 films from 1996. The Thief and the Cobbler. The Never-Ending Story 3. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. D3. The Mighty Ducks. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I think that's it. Oh, nope, another page. Winnie the Pooh and the Friendship collection. And then you have these ones. Has the sing-alongs. And, oh, no! On the back, it's the Walt Disney. Oh, this is the Haley Mills collection? Or is it just coincidentally they all have Haley Mills in it? I don't know. I think Bambi's a great film. It's probably not as potent as let's move the tape. It's probably not as potent as The Lion King. And when I mean potent, I mean it's like story-wise. I think some of it's stronger than others. But I think it's still a great film, beautiful, great story, great mythos. Yeah, Bambi, really. Here's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, released March 1997. And like Pocahontas, it came off of a fairly successful run in theaters. Made about $300 million worldwide. But only a fraction of what The Lion King made. But that's besides the point. Box office receipts don't really tell you how good a film is. I mean, just look at Michael Bay. Back in Notre Dame, one of the longer Disney films. 12/28/1996. I think The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of the most criminally underrated films ever made. I think it's not only one of Disney's finest, I think it's one of the best animated films ever made, period. It's got a wonderful villain, great characters, great story, great songs, marvelous animation, even though now you can see, at least my trained eye can see that the crowds in the Parisian Square were really computerized in some scenes. But again, computer-generated image CGI was more for stuff like that. It wasn't used to make the films, which is why I'm really unhappy with the 3D Disney films that are coming out, with, of course, the exception of Frozen. But I like 2D animated films. I think they're so much better. There's so much more you can do with that than 3D. 3D is so overused and boring, really. But again, rather than get into a rant about that, let's do The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Fantastic film. One of the best. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you see it. It's one of the best, period. Here's Fun and Fancy Free. Film I didn't see until I was about 12 or 13. I didn't even know this film existed. I thought Mickey and the Beanstalk was just on its own as its own little mini picture, but it ended up coming with Bongo. I think it's a fun film. Came with a bit of ancillary stuff. Let's look at that first. The Fun and Fancy Free collector's stamp that you have. Tiger, stop. I feel bad for this cat. There might be more under the tape. I don't know. I haven't watched this in a while. Or looked at this in a while. Let's see. Nope, there isn't. I feel bad for this cat. He's got like asthma or something. June 22nd, 1997. I think it's the weakest of the package films, with the maybe Saludos Amigos is weaker, but I think it's not that strong, not that particularly interesting. It's got some fun scenes, I guess, but overall, not one of the better ones. And for a long time, that this film and Lady and the Tramp held the records for the longest time an animated film has been not released in between video releases. Fortunately, it's been broken since then, but let's take a look. Sleeping Beauty, released for the first time on home video since 1986. 1986, people. That is amazing. It came with a ton of ancillary stuff. Forgot to put away the fun and fancy free stuff. I'll do that after this. Let's look at the ancillary stuff first. Came with a coupon for Disney Family Fun magazine. Business reply card, actually. The Cinderella Sleeping Beauty commemorative stamp. Coupon to save $5 on Coca-Cola Classic. Nothing on the back. Let's see. Save up to $50 on Play School toys. Now, this would have worked when I was a kid because I was, I think, 2 or 3 when this came out on home video. I think 3. Nothing on the back of interest. Business reply card for Sleeping Beauty. Oldest film on there. I don't know why it has... I don't think you can read it, but right here, number 9 on here says The Sleeping Beauty 1986 release. I don't understand why that would be on here, but the oldest video on there otherwise would be Snow White. But that's really weird. Really weird, actually. You have this. Oh, this was supposed to be what's wrapping them around, but this was at the bottom. Okay, I gotta fix that. Here's this little commemorative booklet. Like in Bambi. Talks about the making of. Briefly. Ivan Earl made all these beautiful unicorn tapestries. Mary Costa. The fairies. How Walt Disney wanted to make it one of the most ambitiously beautiful films ever. How Maleficent was also had the voice from Cinderella's stepmother. Things like that. On the back, again, Roy Disney, rest in peace. The video shopping guide. You have Old Yeller, 40th anniversary edition. The Jungle Book, which is coming out, which I do have and will be up next. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. Various releases, including Doug, Quack Pack, and Bone Chillers. A Doug Christmas, a Walt Disney Christmas, various Christmas titles, and then right here they have a list of all the titles that were used for this one. Again, you can't really see them. My camera sucks. Let's get the videotape out so we're not wasting any more time. Print date, July 21st, 1997. But Sleeping Beauty, again, like Cinderella, a fantastic film. May have weak characters, but everything else in this film is an A+. Weak, and when I say weak characters, I mean the weak prince, the weak Sleeping Beauty. The fairies are great. Maleficent is amazing. The animation, breathtaking. Some of the best Disney's ever done, period. Fantastic, fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic. And in October, in following suit with the many great Disney films that were coming out, The Jungle Book returned. After a 6-year moratorium from its first release in 1991 to its then release 1997. Yeah, this was an owned copy. It had this tape belongs to insert name here. I don't remember. They peeled off though. Yeah, this doesn't come with any ancillary stuff, unfortunately. Jungle Book. August 17th, 1997. Fantastic film. Great stories, great characters, great music. And even the animation is fairly good. I think The Jungle Book is one of the best that Disney released in his lifetime. And really, that's pretty much all else I could say. I mean, I've said so much about The Jungle Book already, about how great a film it is, that could probably make it worse if I keep going. So yeah, The Jungle Book, true blue Disney classic. In February of 1998, Hercules was the next film to come out. Like Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, it came out. It's a decent hit. It's growing a following now, a lot more than it had when it first came out. I know a lot of people didn't like it when it first came out. It came with a small coupon. I'll show that first. Save $5 on various Hercules-themed things. Like you have the print shop, the action game, which I used to own at least, the animated storybook, and Hades Challenge. Hercules. 12/26/1997. I think Hercules, it's again a guilty pleasure for me, at least. It's bad, but it's not horrendous. It's funny. It's got funny. James Woods is amazing as Hades. The animation's still fine. It's kind of clunky, not just kind of clunky. It's very clunky, but overall, again, could be a lot worse. Quick rant first. This is the longest that Peter Pan has gone in between its re-releases. 8 years, from 1990 to 1998. So every Peter Pan apologist, is if this was your excuse as to why Peter Pan's out every 2 to 3 freaking years, thank you. This came out in March of 1998. Get a better view of that. March 4th, 1998 was when this was printed. And it was the last of these tapes to have a making of special. Oh, tape. No. There we go. To have a making of special behind it. I've gone on the record a ton of times saying how Peter Pan's a decent film, but not a great film. And I think it's one of the more overrated Disney films. But it's still got some great things in it. It's still a good film from my childhood. I liked it. There's really not much else I can say about it. It's Peter Pan. It's good, not great. The Little Mermaid. Back on home video after it was released on home video in 1990. And after a re-release to theaters in 1997. And as I've gone on the record saying, it was the first film I ever saw in theaters. And it was re-released my birthday when I was... Not released on my birthday. Released on my cousin's birthday. In 1997. Show that print date. April 3rd, 1998. Another big hit on home video. One of the best sellers. And I've gone on the record a ton of times saying how great this film is. Great characters, fantastic music, beautiful animation, great villain. And again, it's one of the top 10 best animated films for a reason. Really, I mean, what else is there to possibly say about it? It's The Little Mermaid. I mean, I know there are people out there who don't like it, but I know I love it. I know a lot of other people love it for a fact. And I think that some people are eventually going to come around to it.